Hello. How are you guys? Oh my word. I'm nervous. I apologize. But yeah. So this is going to be my story time video, and you guys have voted this on my topics, on my poll, I guess I can call it poll. Yes. And this is my own experiences and dealings, not even dealings, just stories and weird experiences with the topic of the Illuminati. Yes, so before I begin, please thumb up this video, guys. If you would like me to continue this video, please, by all means, thumb it up. I need to see a lot of thumbs on this one, maybe 9 to 10. Let's see if we can. You guys have been killing the thumbs ups. Share it ups, because these are some stuff, guys, that I physically cannot explain. Okay? So a little bit of backstory. Oh wait, no, I have some disclaimers, pardon me. A lot of disclaimers. We are talking on the topic of the Illuminati, conspiracy theories, and the way I deal with this topic, guys, is two worlds. Reality, Illuminati world, and the gray zone in the middle are the connections, like a Venn diagram. Very simple, right? And throughout the course of me learning about this topic, from me dealing in live streams with this topic on Facebook, and just talking about it with my own friends, a lot of weird stuff has happened. And holy guacamole, when I say weird stuff I physically cannot explain. Okay? So keep that in mind. So these are my own experiences. So when I talk about these things, like if anyone says they're made up, yeah, okay, whatever. I live them. I know me. All I can say. I am nervous about talking about these for the simple fact that this is controversial, but I'm not outing people, but it does deal with some people who are now in Hollywood. And I don't want to bring up their names, but I'm still friends with them. One of them offered me a mansion party recently, and I said no, because I'm scared. So yeah. So with that being said, guys, these are my own experiences, and I'm really scared about this kind of topic. So that's why the like meter needs to go up for me to continue on with these kind of things. So story time. Let's get into it. So yeah, we're talking about realistic stuff and Illuminati stuff, which is controversial topic land. Keep that in mind. These are proven theories until they are proven otherwise. That is how I talk about it. If you disagree, forgive, apologies. Sorry, it's the way I run it. Let's continue. So a little bit about me, guys. Sorry, I have a nervous twitch. So if you see me doing the head thing, nervous twitch, I apologize. This all pretty much started with me personally when my uncle died 9/11. I was in middle school, and I have never, ever in my life heard the topic of government planned events, crisis actors. I had never heard about this stuff. I was, of course, middle school. So when 9/11 happened, I remember, getting ready for school. My mom was listening in on something. She came in and said, "Oh my God, turn on the TV, watch this now." And of course, I was a middle schooler. So I'm like, at this point, they had televised it. People were, falling from the towers. So that was pretty traumatizing. So I was going to school, and the next day, guys, at school, I had this weird feeling because they were showing it. A lot of people were talking about, hi, chocolate eyes. And I noticed that it was a weird feeling. My mom came and got me with my uncle. And I remember saying in the car, guys, if this has anything to do with 9/11, the president said we'll be fine. Don't worry. I remember saying that. But then my mom looked in the mirror and kind of gave me that look of shut up, like serious talk. And so we pulled into my apartment, and of course, there was like literally, it looked like a scene from a movie. There was a tank, a big tank. Then there was a black car. I don't like, when I say car, I mean like a van, you know, unmarked. And there was a whole bunch of people in our apartment. And my grandma was crying in the chair. And she said, you know, your Uncle Danny. And I said, yeah, what happened? And she said, you know, 9/11. And I started to sob and cry. Everyone was crying around me. It was a really sad moment because we lost a family member. And she said, that's what happened. He was in 9/11 coming back to see my aunt give birth to my cousin. So it was a raw nerve to see my grandma cry. I had lost my uncle, you know, he had just recently visited. It was a sad kind of topic. And so it was a real big raw nerve. But I had never heard of anything conspiracy wise, controversial wise, anything about that nature because I was a middle schooler. And keep in mind, I was pretty much regulated when it came to internet. I wasn't allowed to look up certain stuff. You know, parents want to make sure their kid is safe. Mine wanted to do the same, so you can't really blame her on that one. But later on, my grandma discovered this chat room, and it was the Let's Roll forum. And it was kind of like a slap in the face. They were analyzing my uncle's picture to, you know, see if he was a crisis actor, this kind of stuff. And I tried to talk to them that's saying that no, my uncle was adopted, my grandma gave him up, blah 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 blah. I still have the video up. It's pretty much my one strike that I left up, and I sound like a little babbling little idiot. And apologies to them, but at the same time, the way that they came about it shadily and kind of like meanly and stuff like that, jokingly, when I'm a real family member, that was kind of rude. And that's why I explained to people on here that real family members are affected by this. Real people die in these events. Patsies die all the time. The government, we are just a number. They do not care about us. They don't. It's a number. That's all we are to the government. So, staying on topic, because I have a tendency to go off the rails. I apologize, bipolar little me. I don't care. So, on the topic, when I was talking with these people, they showed me like a picture. And this was the database shown of the flight airlines, America Flight Airlines, for 9/11, you know, first plane hit in the first tower there, basically. And then they showed me that the duration of times the wheels was off the ground, it's the pinging on the satellites. And I thought this was edited by them. So I did further research and further research, trying to disprove them. But it wasn't them. It was a real fact. And then my wheels started to turn. And I'm like, one of the comments really stood out to me from someone on here who said, and he basically said, you know, this is your family member. Wouldn't you be curious? And it's like, dude, I know what happened. The plane hit the tower. I saw it. I know. But then I saw other research, heard other things. And I know that there's a psychological thing now. We're talking, you know, realistic events. We're still talking the realistic events here, and this is psychological terms of when you start to talk about a topic and tread in a topic for too long, you start believing the topic, that kind of thing. So I'm keeping in mind this is going around, that this is happening to me possibly. So I understand 110%. But somebody, I don't know who it was on YouTube, said that there's going to be loopholes in the story all the time. And I'm like, that's the loophole. That on their database, it shows my uncle's plane never left the ground. Ever. The wheels, the duration of time, that it was in the hangar, 0. If it was in the hangar, couldn't it say something about it being in the hangar? And all the other planes had the same in the hangar. They had the same time. They had different times. Different everything. Different times, guys. And I'm going, and unless they're taken in for maintenance, that doesn't happen. So my uncle's plane, on the day it flew into the tower, is showing 0. 0 for in the hangar, in the air, time of wheels on the ground, landing, that's another one, time of takeoff, and time of entry point in the when it checks in, when it actually lands. All that is 0. But for everyone else, there's times for those. I can't explain this physically. It's still up. It's still there. And I cannot explain this physically. This is a fact. So I'm like, okay. And personally, me, guys, the way that I believe and think, if there's some evidence to show it, then it could possibly be. I don't throw out, I don't throw it out. Now, that was the first thing that I ever noticed in my personal experiences while dealing with this topic. I want to know, are you talking about the Illuminati? I'm talking about chocolate ice. I just label it, guys, the Illuminati, but these are dealing with the topic. And keep in mind, guys, the topic is wide range. So this is why I cover it as Illuminati. It's the wide range topic. And it goes into conspiracy theories. So that's why. But it does go in chocolate ice to some other stories about the Illuminati side of it, which, guys, one of my girls on here who gave me this necklace, love you, girl, you know who you are, love you, and if you guys know, you know, it's a little hint. Wide range, yep. And Hollywood, guys, is a fraction of the government. So Illuminati is just the side that they gave to Hollywood, the entertainment side. And I have friends in the entertainment industry that I'm not going to say their name, but gotta keep it on the down low. So I'm kind of scared to address this, guy. So give me strength, Lord, give me strength. Everyone give me strength. So personally, me, guys, that was something that really got my wheels turning. And then I started to watch my homegirl. And at first I'm like, I was like making fun of it. I'm like, nope, ha 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 ha. Watching other videos, I think it was Black Child 2. There was no trigger word trans investigation. I am not going to cover that topic at all. Do not expect me to. That is one that is an automatic strike. That is a hot topic. And do I believe in it? That is my own reservation. Does a part of me believe in it? That's all I'm going to say. Part of me. So I need to do further research on that. And I don't want to go too much into it because, like I said, guys, psychological wise, if you tread too long in that water, you might start believing in it. And then, it's just not healthy. Because a lot of the topics, and sorry if I lean over, guys, I have an incense that's on my bed. So I'm like, don't burn the bed. That'd be nice on live, wouldn't it? Burn the bed. So that's what really got my wheels turning. So then I started to research. And when I mean research, guys, this was not like a month to a day to an hour. This was for years. And then I started to talk to people who were Masons, Freemasons. And I was noticing that people who are covering the topic were mashing them together, and I'm like, no, they're very separate things. Do they play into each other? Absolutely. because there's stages. In my opinion, there's stages to the pyramid. Just more stages. And for those of you who do not know, Freemasonhood is the pyramid. Okay, think of the pyramid. That's their common, but there is a 5-step range to the pyramid. 5 steps, 5 oaths. Then there's a 33 step. And the 33 step, those people are in the lodges for probably 3 to 4 days out of the week. So there's a lot of time and a lot of money invested, and the rings, guys, are expensive. If you know your high school graduating ring or college graduation ring, those can get really expensive, right? You can get zirconiums, you can get real diamonds, you can get gold, you can get pretty shiny. They're expensive. So that's where, like, Freemasonhood is expensive. Extremely expensive. Which that's going to go into my next topic. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Drink that water. Make me holler. And thank goodness for the 99-cent store. Like, look at how cute that is. I love, like, that little mug. So, with that being said, guys, some of my friends are Freemasons. And that's a good majority of them. And I'm personally, I don't want to out them, but I wanted to cover this topic really quick because this is going to play into some of my stories later on for my experiences. And this is going to be a long live stream, guys. You guys have voted for the long live streams. I do short live streams. I do makeup of the days. I do all that kind of stuff just to, spread it out. I like variety. You don't like variety? I'm sorry. This could be a playlist section, and you can go to my playlist, and you can watch my playlist, and you can say, hey, hey, or you can say nay, nay, with the thumbs down button, and just continue on with your merry day. That kind of thing. But I drew down the symbol that many people are getting confused on. And I wanted to clear it up for my Freemasonhoods friends. Now, disclaimer, guys, this goes into me personally. I'm a fairy. What does that mean? I have fairy wings right over there. I perform at Renaissance fairs as a fairy with children. My degree is child psychology, and my degree is acting. Those were my interests. So, with that being said, I've noticed some things in the theater community where I was like, when I was studying this kind of topic, okay? And it covers a long range. The term Illuminati, guys, like I said, is just a branch in Hollywood that controls what we hear, see in the media, the music, the movies, symbolism, that stuff. The stuff, other stuff above that, we have the Skull and Bones Society for presidents only. We have, other stuff. We have MK Ultra. We have the Sex Beta Kitten Club. We got a whole bunch of stuff. So that's why I say Illuminati talk is just, it covers a wide range, including clones, lizard people. Woo! It covers so much. That's why, as I said in my last one, I love to chew on it. I love to chew on it. So, like I said, I'm a fairy. I perform at Renaissance fairs. Do I consider myself one? Absolutely. Do I think as one? Absolutely. The dot on my lip is something that I have done since I was a child. And this is basically a meditation just to remind myself to keep quiet. Silence is golden, right? So that means observe, listen, see what's around you, that kind of stuff. And so when I was in college and I was doing a play production class, I was in something called Funny Things Happen on the Way to the Forum. That is a musical. I was a dominatrix. I had a corset on at the time. I used to love corsetry. Why? Renaissance fair. Loved it so much. And this is before I performed in it. Before my health got to me as a chronic pain patient, where I could dance and move freely. And yeah, I can go into a whole different topic on that one, guys. Oh, I miss it. But I used to act. And it was so much fun. So I got a part as Gymnasia, as a dominatrix. And she was just, boom, 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 done. She was awesome. I loved her, and I got to use a crop whip. It was fun. I loved it. However, behind the scenes, there was a night on Halloween where we had a show. It was Saturday, Sunday, I believe. Yeah. And we had a show, and I thought it was really weird to, have a party at Hearst Castle when we have a show the next day. And keep in mind, guys, funny things happen on the way to the forum. For me, we traveled. We went to Oxnard, and we did 2 weekends over there, and then we did our hometown, and then that was it. But this was defined as a castle mansion party. And it was held by someone, it was Halloween, a big Halloween party, but there was said to be celebrities there and everything above it. But I thought it was weird because that's a long drive. I have a driving anxiety. And it's not good generally when you're acting to be tired the next day, knowing that you gotta dance, you gotta sing, you gotta put on a corset and high heels, you gotta pretend that you're not in pain and stuff like that. Were you a dominatrix? Yes, the character was defined as a dominatrix, so she was Gymnasia. Funny things happen on the way to the forum, guys. Look it up. It's a great play. It's so cute. It's set in Roman times. I love it. But the mansion party, I was talking about it with a friend, and it was the next day. And the reason I didn't go was because I also share an apartment with my mother. How much of a loser am I? Thumb up. Go ahead, you can use that too. I don't care. Anyway, thumb it up. But, I have to be mindful to her when she has work the next day. That when I walk in, late at night, mind you, hey, I'm going to wake her up. So, and plus two, if something happened, she couldn't come get me. Hearst Castle is a long ways away. And I wanted to see it so bad, but I don't know. He just owned Hearst Castle or whatever. And I was talking to one of my friends who is now on Hollywood. He does Shrek, he's done a lot of Disney, he's done Jack Sparrow, professional gigs and stuff like that for like children's parties and things. So he's a professional actor, and right now he's on Broadway. So I do have to conceal his identity. And he might watch me, so hi. How are you doing? Missed ya? Since our date, how you doing? We were talking about this kind of thing and everything. And another one of our co-stars, I should say, was getting everyone together for a ride. Well, they already left me. And I was kind of glad that I missed it because, it was Halloween, I was tired, But we were talking recently and prior about, this kind of topic. And about Masonhood. And so I went to bed early, had to get up, had to drive over to my thing, commute, get everything done. And when you actually prepare for a show, my makeup, because of the black makeup and stuff like that I had to do to my eyes, it took me, no joke, about an hour to layer that stuff on with the Jeep stuff, and to get dressed 30 minutes, so do hair on top of that another 30. It takes a long time to get ready on site, and especially before you travel, taking your costume with you if you have it, your shoes, everything. You've got to make sure you have everything, and then be prepared to run, do warm-ups and stretches and vocals beforehand. So there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes. It's an all-day excursion. So the day prior, I understand everyone went. Like, there was limited people that went, about 2 of us, and I was that lucky few that missed it. But I remember I was, sitting getting ready, and I saw my friend, and I said, hey, what's up? How you doing? You guys look exhausted. And she's, 2 of our co-stars said, it was a crazy, crazy night. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Not catching the hint. Then my friend, who I recently went on a date, not recently, but went on a date with several years back, he took my hand and he said, no, crazy night. And I'm like, okay? Still not making the stupid connection. Thinking back to it now, I'm like, duh. Like, sorry, does that sound like, is this just me being weird? Like, am I misperceiving something? Or, I know I'm not having a delusion. Sorry, no, that's out of the question. So, that was kind of like, interesting. And guys, Freemasonhood can go to different levels, ages, and everything. But the one thing I do want to point out, and especially at Renaissance Fair, if you're big into Renaissance fairs like me, you're going to see this symbol. And yeah, this is the compass. I call it the compass of G. Just the compass is backwards because it's on live. My crude little drawing. Oh, if anyone makes fun of me, please edit in the little Blue's Clues thing with the little stupid notebook where, sit, think, that. Yeah, my little Fry's notebook. But this here is the compass of G. Many people misconstrued this symbol, but I actually have it confirmed from 4 of my friends. One of them is keeping tight-lipped. I respect his decision. He just is in the Masonic hood, and I believe he got his 5th ring so far. I don't know if he's doing the 5th route or if he's doing the 33 route. If he's doing the 33 route, I wish him luck. That is expensive as heck. I wish him luck. But the compass of G, guys, means several things to people, but this is generally what it means to Masons. And the G stands for oh my lord, geometry. Oh my lord, sorry, I could not say that. I had to chew my words. Geometry. So the G stands for geometry. You have a ruler and everything. It stands for the great architect of the universe. So when you see that symbol, it's just their symbol for the great architect of the universe. Freemasonhood goes back a long time, and I believe the first Masonic laws was resurrected in 1717. That's what I believe in my research I have seen. 1717 was the first Freemasonic lodge, and it was in England. And guys, this is why I say it's kind of like their staple. The Masonhood's like staple. It's their logo, if you will. And this is why I say it. It's used in rituals, in lessons, involving and explaining these symbols as a lesson in code of conduct. And it's used to teach symbolic lessons. Little tiny Fry's notebook, man. Someone please. This is all referenced, guys, on the Wikipedia page. Okay, if you type in Freemasonhood, compass of G, you're going to pull it up. It's referenced by Carl James Stevens from the 1991 The Art and Architecture of Freemasonry. So that there is one of their references. I don't believe there's any other references, guys, because keep in mind Freemasonhood is supposed to be kept secret and on the down low, which I do respect. My friends, have told me they can show the rings now. Was something that was, behind closed doors. Now you can. Shaquille O'Neal showed his bling. Many men have showed their bling. Johnny Depp, I do believe, has a ring. We've seen pictures. And, yeah. Keep in mind, guys, just because you join the Freemasonhood doesn't mean you're going to get involved in the top pyramid. No, that's saved for more higher rankings and stuff like that. And do I believe more shady underbelly stuff goes on? Absolutely. I'm going to get to that in a second. And that's from prior events in my life that kind of point to it. And I'm like, I can see where some of this topic can be real, especially dealing with people in the government, talking about trigger stuff like Pizzagate, those kind of things. If you believe in that, okay. If you don't, okay. Don't come at me. These are things that other people have noticed too. And however, some people do believe that the compass of G does stand for female and male genitalia, sexual parts, and it can be seen sometimes in brothels, chair dances, etc., etc. But like I said, I do believe that this logo, that symbol, crudely drawn by me, is just their staple for Freemasonhood. It's their logo. Like I said, different branches, but a lot of the stuff talking about the Illuminati really does go into secretism, and a lot of the Freemasonhood guys, their symbols are kind of made daily. For instance, the OK symbol. There's 4 symbols for this one, and there's 4 rituals involving this, like I just read, guys. Pyramids, stuff like that, rituals. And beginner, then there's this one, and then that one. So there's the 4. 4 of those. There's these symbols, 4 of these symbols. I do not know the 4 symbols. I ain't gonna look up the 4 symbols. Am I gonna draw the 4 symbols? YOLO. Nope. Go and just type these in on images, and don't go to recents. Don't go to any of those things. Look for the ones from old texts, like really old texts. Ones that, you know, you can tell are definitely old texts. That's what I'm saying. This kind of symbol, the hands up symbol. This symbol is for distress. Help me, I'm going down. Help me. And guys, that symbol, in doing my own personal research, I have found that this symbol in World War II, our ships were actually seen helping enemies going like this. Our enemies. Why, when there are enemies? Why would we care? Because in Freemasonhood, there is an oath that if you see your fellow Freemason make this symbol, you as a fellow Freemason must go and help that individual. If you don't, you can have a consequence. And the consequences, guys, involved ripping out tongues and losing your path in the brotherhood, having like a ritual done where you're embarrassed and stuff like that if you break a law, or their law, you know, their rules, their oath, those kind of things. And so no one really, you know, wants that, but our own people, Navy ships, went to help the enemy that was going like this. This is actual in our history books. But do you read that in our textbook ones that they teach us in school? Of course not. Why? Secretism, secretism, secretism. Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to clear up that symbol really quick. It is just their staple, their calling card, their YOLO, how you doing? That's just their logo. And guys, I saw one recently in the valley out here that there's stickers like on their cars. And guys, Freemason, their lodges are everywhere. You're going to find black and white checkerboard floors, common, every single one since the 1717 lodge that they made. Every single one has a checkerboard floor, black and white. That stands for duality. 2 to 4 pillars. I'm not quite sure what the pillars stand for. I believe that's holding up something. I'm sorry, I don't like to step in the lodge because as a fairy, I'm very sensitive to energy. I don't like this is fine. It's a pillow. This is fine. But guys, keep in mind, it doesn't have to be checkerboard. It can be any type of combination of black and white. Any kind. It doesn't have to be black checkerboard. Anytime. It can be anything. I know Chocolate Ice like, yep, it can be LOL, but at the same time, it can be scary. You know, I really do hope, guys, that this kind of stuff is a LOL type scenario, because it goes into a lot of scary stuff, doomsday stuff, and I don't like to think about the doomsday stuff. My fairy butt likes to be happy, holly jolly, behind YouTube, listening to music, relaxing, but observing quietly. That's what I like. So, also, too, guys, when I started to notice this kind of stuff, and especially after the mansion party scenario, my friend took me by the hand and said, crazy stuff went down. And I'm like, okay, not really realizing it. But now thinking back on it, 2 of the co-stars that were in that production are now on Broadway. One, like I said, is currently in the Shrek production, and another one is in Rock of Ages, and that is on Broadway in Hollywood. I commend them because those auditions are brutal, and for them to do that, hallelujah, I congratulate my friends. Do you, boo. Make that De Niro. I commend them. Now, the other crazy things, guys, I'm going to address are the Instagrams. Now, when I first learned about this topic, I wanted to, call it out myself. My little catchphrases, my little things that I do right now, this, that kind of stuff. And you tag Illuminati on Instagram, sometimes they'll message you back. Now, keep in mind, these are from accounts that are very small, that are like no accounts, they follow a whole bunch, but they're obviously scammer accounts. I have to address this now. This is real life events, but these are scammers. Okay? Never answer back to these people, and if you do, don't ever give them your personal credit card information. Don't give any of that issues. Don't do it. I've been asked to join them 4 to 5 times. Keep in mind, these are scammers, and the last time I did it, I called one out, and they just stopped messaging me, and they blocked me. One of them actually was linked to the Freemasonhood that had their Instagram like in the 90K thing with actual books that they were handing out, like an actual religious book, and I'm like, makes me think how many of these are real, how many of them are not. And very recently, guys, through my other page, Tulip the Fairy, for my Renaissance Fair page, I was asked by somebody, I forgot what her name was, Amanda something. She worked actually for a television company who does Big Brother. That's it. And they wanted me to, be audition for them for Big Brother because my life looked interesting. My Renaissance Fair performer. But as I told her, I have disabilities. And I looked up, I talked to my friend personally, and she says, do not do it because they kind of traumatize you. And that's kind of their breakaway into it. You know what I mean? They're breaking you in kind of thing. And I looked up the challenges, and I'm like, whoa, because as a chronic pain patient, guys, I can't lift certain pounds. I'm pretty much limited to this. And then, of course, I can do simple tasks around the house. That kind of thing. But, ow, I'm in chronic pain every day of the week. It hurts. And with fatigue syndrome and also 2 muscle atrophy on this leg, I use a cane. I fall easily, Humpty Dumpty, yippee skippy. I'm not exactly healthy to do these kind of things. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna work. So I had to decline. But they are keeping me in mind for another show, which is cool. Which is about cosplay. Like the necklace. Man, yep, God bless. Thank you, guys. But so that's just one of my recent, things where it kind of opened up my eyes to like, wow, the traumatizing things like eating stuff, the fear factor stuff, that alarms me because that does psychologically, if you think about it, like scar you. If you can handle it, cool. If you can't, no, like my friend said, many thrive, many don't, many just do enough to survive, and there's plenty of celebrities that said that. That's not my words, they've said it themselves. So I just needed to address that now. If you guys ever get that Instagram stuff, just remember that is a proven debunk. That is a scam. Do not answer back to them. They want money from you to join. Do not reply to them. It's a scam. So on the Instagram thing, that's a real life event into the realistic world. I debunk those. Do not do that. Okay? That's what I'm saying. All right, so now getting into the next thing, we're going to get into the Renaissance Fair, guys. Now, the Renaissance Fair, guys, sorry, my nervous twitch again, is where I have noticed many Freemasons about. Many of them. And I do mean many. And of course, in my study, like me as a fairy, guys, I just blurt out stuff. I've noticed that a lot of people who have a fairy-like trait, now keep in mind, guys, I know I'm a human. This is not a delusion. This is just an alter, if you will, my alter ego. But if I could make it real, I would. So I usually will do this, my fairy meditation, quiet remindrance, and I'll observe. That's just me. But sometimes I blurt out, especially when I see something that I'm like studying and I'm like, bingo, there it is. Why, hello, in my face. And Renaissance fairs, guys, you know, many people say, oh, nerds, dweebs. They are fun, fun, fun. That's all I can say. I love the costumes. Their corsets are nice. Love it. Love. Instant love. But there's 1 to 2 stories from there that I was like, strange with. And this goes into the Masonhood, and the next story will go into the Illuminati side, which I'm like, whoa, this I can't explain. So, at the Renaissance Fair that I go to, it is the biggest fair out here in California. I'm going to keep it under wraps. There's many fairs, but you know, actually, you know what? I can say it. It's the Renaissance Fair Pleasure Fair. And this is just my own little, it's not, you know, it's a rumor. This is my own experience, okay? They make hat pins. People can request, you know, pins made. So this is not to say that these people are it. You know, they hire people to work for them. All that stuff. So this is what I'm saying, guys. You know, it goes into the realistic side, but I also do not want to accuse people. You know what I mean? Because we don't know if they are, so I'm not going to accuse, but this is just my observation. So I was at the fair, you know, twiddling my little fairy self around when my friends ditched me to go watch a show and to go get some beer. I don't drink. I said, oh, Compass G. And it was on a hat pin booth, and I was like, cool, because it was pretty shiny, expensive at $45. Make me holla. It was expensive. But then there was a sun pin next to it. And many people in Freemasonhood will worship the sun. Many people in Hollywood worship the sun. You know, many people, Beyonce, I can drop her name because she's talked about all the time. She likes the Nefertiti stuff. So does Nicki Minaj. They like a lot of the Egyptian stuff related to the sun gods. My own fiance loves the sun god, worships him. So there's different levels of that. But at the, you know, the hat pin guy, I was like, oh, Freemasonhood. And the guy looked at me dead in the eye, and then he did this move. Now, as a fairy, I pretty much know when someone's throwing some shade. You know what I mean? But this was a shade of a I'm going to ignore you shade. He talked to my friend, or my ex-friend, left and right. And when I tried to talk to him, nope, 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 nope. He avoided me. So, of course, I'm like, okay, trying to ask him, how much is this? It's like I was invisible to him. And then this year, as I worked the fair, same pin place, but, oh, sorry, to go back to that. We walked around the fair after this incident, and then when I went back to the cart the very same day, the pin was moved. The sun pin and the compass of G was moved separate. And that, guys, remember, they communicate, Freemasons communicate through symbols of their feet, the position of their feet, to how they shake their hands, to how they go like this, the way they carry, from colors, it's hand gestures. It's another list of a whole bunch of stuff. And there's many documentations on YouTube. I watch old documentaries. You know, the kind that are like VHS quality, the old quality, no DVD quality. I always recommend watching those. And some guy said, you know, if you call them out, they will ignore you. And this pin guy ignored me to the T. Like, wow. Until recently, I started to work the fair. I'm fully dressed in my character. And I wanted to do an experiment. I put the G on my hand, the compass G, and then all of a sudden, lo and behold, he talked to me as a fairy. Oh yeah, $45, $50, ma'am. Yep. And then I was all like, oh, there's the sun pin right up there. Yeah, I remember it close together like 2 years ago. And he goes, yeah, I remember that too. And I'm like, yeah, did that mean anything? And he's like, and then he just basically looked at me and he said something to where it was almost like stay in your lane or something like that, but I can't remember exactly what he said, because at the same time that was taking place, the queen was being escorted past me on the chariot. Perfect timing. Couldn't hear it. And of course, I'm going to say this now for the youngsters. Never, when you're younger, listen to headphones in your ear and sleep, because I did that and now I got ear damage. Never do that. Please don't do that. I have ear damage, so I have to go like this and push my ear forward to fully hear. This one, if it gets too loud, will crackle and pop, so yippee dippy skippy. More water time. Hope you guys are enjoying the live stream. I know it's long, but a few of you guys liked longer live streams. You know, get some popcorn, do your hair, do your makeup. That's what I used to do when watching my girl right here. Always used to love watching her, just doing my makeup in the morning. Loved it. So that was something that I couldn't explain with the hat pin guy. Made me question it. Now on to my next friend. My next friend, who I am still friends with to this day. He is at the Renaissance Fair. He goes to Coronaburg. He goes to Irwindale. He goes all over the place. But right now, guys, he is also working on the set of Lucifer. So I have to, once again, conceal his identity. If you don't like it, sorry. If you think I'm lying, I don't care. I know this. I've seen him. I've met him. I've talked to him. And this is where it gets freaky. Really freaky. To the point where I'm like, you know, freaky. Let's continue. So at this point, guys, I was still a patron, not working at the fair itself. I was going as a fairy, just hanging out with my friends, doing costuming, and I was doing my cosplay stuff. But, you know, it's the Renaissance Fair. I loved it. It was for my birthday. So much fun. But my friend, I friended him a few years ago just because I noticed in the Renaissance Fair when I started to go, I wanted to friend people that I saw and I met. So I friended him, but I never really talked to him. But this is right before, or actually, yeah, this is around the time I started to do my live streams on my personal Facebook, talking about the Illuminati stuff, you know, the topics. And I call them the establishment-based topics. I removed the term Illuminati because it's a large base term. It only stands for a fraction. I call it establishment-based. That kind of thing. So this year I actually talked to him. My friend wanted to talk to him and I knew of him. I thought he was a handsome older gentleman. And by I mean older. I'm in my 30s. He's 40-something, older 40s, 50s. I don't go that high. That kind of thing. But he is on the set of Lucifer, and he was on Lucifer, I believe it was season 3, episode 6. That was my reference. So I'm not really going to give out his full name, but yeah. So he was on Lucifer, and he still is. But after we saw him at the fair, And of course, keep in mind, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, hi, nice to meet you. And we were talking. He takes me by the hand, kisses it. And that's a common thing at the fair, guys, you know, to show, what's the word? Kind gesture to kiss a woman's hand, gently. And he said, I love your costuming work. I'm a big fan. And I said, oh, wow, thank you, because I'm kind of fangirling at this point because I did have a crush on him. Until after we had the conversations. And then I'm good. I'm good. I'm honey. I'm sugar-coated. So, another thing, sippy sippy, I'm sorry guys. Drink with me water, make you holler, honey boo boo. Shout out to my little teeth guys. You guys liking it so far? Liking the live stream so far? Okay. So, afterwards, we all hooked up at the car. And by I mean hooked up, I mean we just talked and took off our garb, as in corsets, and just left our dresses on and just sat on the ground and relaxed and just shot the breeze. And, of course, little old me, we were talking randomly, and I just mentioned to him, oh yeah, the Illuminati, you know, ha ha ha, especially in Hollywood. Because I noticed that he was going, especially on his timeline, because we were friends, that he had an audition. And I was like, watch out, Illuminati Hollywood. And he goes all of a sudden serious, going from joking to, yeah, no, I'm dead serious, that stuff is real. And I have proof, and I've seen it. And of course, me at that time as a researcher was like, hi, how you doing? We got a few questions. Blink, 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 blink. Blink at him. Push it up. Can we talk? That kind of stuff. So, at the car, we were all talking, and he talked about mansion parties. And he said, yeah, you know, those things really do go down. I've been to 3 so far, but because I am a certain ethnicity, I have a hard time in Hollywood. They prefer the white, you know, stuff. That's common. And he made like the gesture symbolizing to Freemasonhood. And I asked him, are you a Mason? And he kind of was all like, gave me the wink. And I'm like, ah, there it is. Okay, I get you. Not the rings on yet, but I call him the Templar. That's all I'm going to call him. Templar. That's his character. Templar. There's a whole bunch of them. Templar. So we talked about a few things. And the one thing was the mansion parties, because in my past, like I said, guys, I had the weird experience about the mansion party in my past. And he's like, yeah, that stuff is real. I've seen celebrities, you know, doing sexual stuff to each other, and I've been involved, and I can't really give out their names. But then we discussed MK Ultra. Because my friend who I was talking with at the time, she was into that kind of kink, and she said at one point, oh, that sounds sexy. And I looked at her and I said, that is straight up torture. Are you kidding me? That is straight up torture-based trauma, spun upside down, starved. Ice and cold heart was a cold hot torture, sexual abuse. A handler to you. Nope, sorry, honey boo boo. I'm good and I'm golden. But that's when my friend looked at me and took me by the hand again and said, do you think by any means that you can do that kind of thing? And as he's holding my hand out like this, I'm like, slowly as my fairy, taking it back, because when I sense anything of that feel, I recoil. I personally refuse to dance on a black and white checkerboard floor, which I will go into in a second, which plays into this story. But if I feel that energy, I will recoil back. And when I'm recoiling back, he's trying to hold on to my hand. Like, legit. Not letting go energy kind of thing. And he said, do you think you can handle that? And I said, what do you mean? And he said the tasks that it would take to become a woman of grandeur. And of course, my board, in my own term, because I blurted it out, me being a geek, and I'm like, oh, a sex beta kitten, a bungalow bunny, a hoe? For high class paid celebrities? Yeah, no. And I looked him dead in the eye, and I'm like, I'm kosher. I'm fine, thank you very much. I still have a few questions, because I have a few questions related to this topic. And by this time, guys, the sun was setting, and we had to quickly get going because it was getting dark and we had a 2-hour drive back to where we lived. So we departed, and this young man, Templar, I asked him out of the car because he, all of a sudden, when I was going, and guys, when a personal thing with me is that I'm old school Italian, and a kiss on the cheek is one thing, but when you kiss me on the lips, that's like a because that's actually culturally, for me, inappropriate. You don't do that. It's a graze on the cheek. That's a cultural thing. But all of a sudden, he took me by the hand as I'm getting in the car. He opens the door for me, and he says, by the way, Miss Moon. He takes me by the hand, and he goes, we really need to talk on the phone much more in detail about this topic. And I'm like, oh, do we now? Teasing, because I'm actually wanting to learn more about the topic. And he said, absolutely. And then all of a sudden he kissed me on the mouth, and then he left. Made sure I was buckled in safely, and left. And at this time, I'm geeking in the car going, he has 22 years experience in this industry. Do I consider him a Hollywood insider? Abso-frickin-lutely. After that time, I noticed he got his job on Lucifer. He got a modeling gig. He was on the poster for the Renaissance fairs. He's doing good. But before we drove off, I yelled at him. Not yelled at him. I just said, hey, did you, by chance, do you channel? And he says, he did like the drummy thing on the car. And he said, yes, I channel for knowledge. And he said, and for me, guys, I channel I used to channel to get rid of pain. Now, what is channeling? A lot of people don't know what channeling is. They have a really weird misconception of what a channeling is. Channeling technically has nothing to do with demon being possessed. Calling a demon. That's something completely different. It has nothing to do with that. Channeling is a meditative state, and it's also a meditative state that really encompasses music to pull an energy, the energy through your being, through your body, and you feel the energy, the jive on the music. So like if you're, say for instance, driving down the highway and you're near the beach, and you just had a great day at the beach, and the surfer boys came on, fun surfing in the USA. You have that kind of bubbly feeling, that warm feeling. You start jamming on in the car, going like this. You are technically channeling on the energy and vibes of that music. That is what I do. Now, where you get the faux pas is where you have two energies forming a barrier, and that's where, spiritual realms can be unlocked in the pagan religion and Wicca religions. And that's something where I highly recommend you do not do. That goes into a different experience that I've had, but I don't care to share those because it's my own personal experience, and I believe in science more than anything. So, with that being said, I keep those just to myself. But after that, I had the phone call with him. And when I mean phone call, I mean Facebook phone call the very next day where he called me. And it was not even 3 hours. I think we were on for 6 hours. We were on a long time. Of course, we hung up the phone, went to the bathroom, ate, did our merry thing. But the phone call lasted a long time. And I, called him saying, "Hello there, Mr. Movie Star." And he goes, "Oh, stop. You flatter me." And we started to talk about the topic of the establishment. And he was saying that, yeah, because I am a certain ethnicity, it makes it twice as hard for me to get in to the said industry, but there's certain loopholes I can do. Bringing people in is one of them, and research, and we talked about channeling. But then he started to talk about some weird particular stuff. Some stuff saying that he has seen lizard people, that one woman had been with him his entire life and transformed right in front of him. And I'm like, back of my head, just in the back of my head, thinking schizophrenia. 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 That kind of thing. But then he also said some stuff that was kind of accurate. That, for instance, the mansion parties, the keeping everything on the down low, the stuff that your manager you have to do what your manager says, or else you ain't getting a gig in the Hollywoods. Those kind of things. And I'm like blinking like, But then he also said something to the fact that, I was beautiful, I was a model, and he says if you call them out, they are going to notice you. And he says when they notice you, you're going to notice that you can get a boost or you can get a drop, depending on what you talk with them and yada yada, this and that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I said, what happens if I joined? And he then told me through the phone that you're going to be tortured beyond all belief. And then you'll get what you want. He says you'll be put through multiple tests. I'm good, homie. My fairy butt is... That's where I draw the line. You can do you... But I never really believed, like, these kind of people existed. Like, this kind of stuff, guys, like Hollywood. There's talk of rituals involving sacrificing children, pedophilia, dressing women or men as women, vice versa. That kind of stuff that involves rituals to boost it up. The more rituals you do, the more your income net worth is. If you want to know how many rituals your friends have done or your celebrities, look at their net worth. You can tell the ones that just scrounge by, like Sandra Bullock has a lower net worth than Nicki Minaj. And keep in mind, guys, I know that they're two separate things. One does acting, one does music. But Sandra Bullock has said from her own lips that she does enough to survive in an interview. No one listens, right? I guess not. So in that phone call, that's where, yeah, it was ringing like, kind of weird to me, because personally, guys, I don't believe in lizard people. If you do, God bless you. I've seen some proof, but I haven't, seen enough to really make me think about it 110%. I believe in aliens 110%, but flat earth, no, that kind of stuff. Certain things, clones off the bat, I'm fishy with. But when he's like, no, it was real, and he said that she transformed from all these women I used to be with. She said she's been with me my whole life. And I'm like, oh, okay. We talked about mansion parties, how he wanted to bring me to one and experience it for myself. And he said, just be aware when you go, you must wear a collar. Nope. Your homegirl good. Your homegirl is so kosher, so good. You know what? I'm lean back, chill, do the cholo lean. I'm good. No. That's where I draw the line. I'm not participating. My fairy side is, if I see evil, we recluse. We hide. we're the last damn thing of defense. So after that, he did say that, you know, he said, beware of the devil. He said demons are real. You can be possessed, because we did talk about demon possession. If you guys want me to do my own talk about demon possession and what I think personally, I have to see the video get up to like 9-10 likes. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, 9 to 10. If it gets higher, hallelujah. But I have to see solid, you know, that kind of stuff that you guys are interested. If you're interested in demon possession, my take on it, because channeling, it can play into it, but at the same time, I believe there's a lot of science behind it, a lot of psycho stuff, you know, neurological stuff that happens, you know, to explain it. So that's what I believe. If you believe in it, hallelujah. But when I've channeled, I've taken away my pain, my body's become numb, but the day after, I'm hurting 10 times as much because of what I've done to my body and how much put of a trance I put into it. So with that being said, guys, hold on right here. Hold on really quick. I'm reading one of my notes, guys, because sometimes I do from something that happened in my past. This is medical. I have short term, so sometimes I have to write stuff down to make sure I stick on topic, because your homegirl can go off a whole bunch, and this is already 60 minutes. We don't want it to be any bigger, you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Now, this, in conclusion, guys, these are my own experiences. I have a couple others dealing with demons and ghost paranoia. You know, if you guys want me to do a story time about that one, like I said, 9 to 10 likes. But also, too, really quick, my husband, that to be, because I am engaged, you know, bling bling, he opened my eye to something. Now, with this topic, guys, I always keep it with the grain of salt. And if I see connections where it's like, if a celebrity's going like this, if we see an MK Ultra glitch, then maybe we see that. And that's where I'm like, where I see the connection-wise. That's where I can see it. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired. It's time for me to go eat some dinner, lunch. It's Friday. Chore day. Oh, yeah. Now, with this topic, guys, I thought it was a whole bunch of cock and bull. But then my husband-to-be has opened my eyes. He is not of Christian faith. He plays for the other team, if you know what I mean. And he opened my eyes to one of these sites. I'm not going to tell you what the site is because I don't want anyone going to it. It kind of does traumatize you if you don't. It's horrific. It's gross. And it shows just how evil people are in this world. And when I thought like the rituals that my friend were talking about and others were talking about were fake, then I see this website that is showing what the Mexican cartel is doing, showing what other people are doing in red rooms from the dark web. It's scary. And that's why I do not want anyone to go to these kind of things. When my friend said this topic can, you know, mess with your head, it can mess with your head in a bad way. But when you are awake, per se, and you kind of see things, it's like, But on this website, people do things to animals for fun. I've seen people commit suicide on this website for fun. I've seen mothers try to, this one really got to me, of a mother trying to undo the noose that her son used to commit suicide with his body still on it. This site is not for fun. So I'm not going to say which site it is, because I have too much respect for you guys and for other people who watch me to see what kind of evil plays out in this world. So when I thought the topics of the rituals in Hollywood, you know, the silly ones, mansion parties, orgies, eating feces, killing babies, rape, that stuff was all a bunch of hoo nanny hoo ha. My husband to be kind of opened my eyes and said no. He said, he looks at me, he says, you are to me a genuine fairy, because you don't watch TV. If it's you watch mainly on here, you watch news and you watch, you know, simple stuff, but you keep to yourself. And he goes, that's dangerous. I want you to see physically what evil there is out there for your own benefit, so your knowledge is power. Because he said, like, my ignorance was bliss, and he didn't like that. So when he showed me this, I'm like forcing myself to watch with my eyes like, yeah. It after seeing that, it doesn't put past me what stuff people can do in this world. The higher ups are known to get away with it, because money makes the world go round. We are all a number unless you have the big brackets. As Roseanne Barr stated, people are afraid to fall from the top running to the bottom runnings of the pyramid. Once you get out that money and you're out of that circle, you're screwed. You are not worth a dang. So that's from her own words. And this is another Hollywood insider. So my friend that I'm going to call Templar really opened my eyes to that one. So there's that. Those stories, and guys, that there, in a nutshell, concludes my experiences when dealing with the Illuminati, from Instagram messages to real life events, starting from this topic of Freemasonhood to actually dealing with Hollywood. Yeah. That's my personal experiences. You can, downplay them all you want, but I lived it. I can't explain some of them. And yeah, to all my subbies, welcome. To all my oldies, welcome. I will try to do some more Dollar Tree hauls and everything, but because your homegirl doesn't really have income, I'm kind of resorting to painting rocks and hiding them for a kindness art project out here. That's for the children and to make people's day and make, it's just for happiness. So, to end this on a good note, rocks that I've done. Yeah, ow. Rocks that I've done. Painting wise, these ones here were done with temporary tattoos. So you guys, if you guys want a actual tutorial on this, I'm gonna do it, no problem. Little temporary tattoo, I gotta seal that. So yeah. Oh yeah, and my two back here, that mackerel, my husband's thing. And then this one. So, okay, guys, if you, like I said, thumb it up. And if it gets up to 9 to 10, I will probably do a poll later on after this one. I have a makeup of the day in this outfit for you guys. I'm going to post right after this one. So if you like that, cool. If you don't, cool. Whatever. It's up to you guys. But it's up to me what I think and what I post. So I'm posting that because I want to. I feel fly. Yeah. Feel fly. And my makeup is cute too, right? I love it. So, okay, guys. And, yeah, if you guys want me to do my take and story time about demonic stuff and channeling and double-bladed conundrums, 9 to 10. And, yeah, we like to have fun here. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. And, yeah, come find me on the social media sources. Lady_Frieza_cosplays over on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. Tulip Whisper the Fairy, all one word, Instagram too. Come follow me up. I'm on my cosplaying / Renaissance character adventures. And also to have a Facebook fan page. Hey, it's Aurora. Girl likes to cosplay. And subscribe here. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, long live stream. Grab your tea. But woo woo. God, that was a long talk, y'all. But woo. It's a fun, juicy topic. And hope you guys, do your makeup, eat, and just relax and, shoot the breeze. Okay, guys. Love you. Bye-bye.